He's like a bad smell, isn't he? Or a kind of unflushable deposit in the bottom of your toilet bowl. But Boris Johnson somehow managed to insert himself yesterday into, if not the actual news agenda, then certainly the online chatter, the social media chatter. Can you guess what he did?
Prime Minister, you were on record as opposing the last Labour government's plans for compulsory photo ID cards, which you described as a recipe for tyranny and oppression. Why, therefore, are you now planning to bring forward in the Queen's Speech legislation which would force all voters to carry photo ID in order to vote?
Boris Johnson. You remember Boris Johnson, the one that lied about everything, yeah? And then legged it before he could be held to account by his own parliamentary peers.
And given the fact that there was just a single conviction in the entire country for in-person voter fraud at the last general election, and given that studies show that Labour voters are much less likely to possess photo ID than Conservative voters, what do you say to people who suggest this is merely an attempt to suppress the votes of people who may not vote for the Conservative Party?
So he turned up to vote, having been Prime Minister when the legislation was introduced demanding that you come with photo ID when voting, something that if you did vote yesterday, you will have observed. And guess what? He didn't have any photo ID with him, so he was prevented from casting a vote.
Adam, I would say that was complete nonsense. And what we want to do is to protect democracy, the transparency and the integrity of the electoral process. And I don't think it's unreasonable to ask first-time voters to produce some evidence of identity.
So, I mean, there's so many times you think that you've happened upon the most perfect distillation of Boris Johnson's moral corruption or epic incompetence. And then up he pops, like I say, like a bad smell or an unflushable deposit.
So that's the reason. OK, everybody, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Click here to see how our money was further wasted by this government on useless PPE.